Okay, so it's time to talk about Magi 275. So we're only about 25 chapters out before we get another season of the anime, I guess. Um, roughly. But let's talk a little bit about this chapter, which there's not a ton to talk about, but there is a little bit of discussion involved. Um, so first off, we have to mention the elephant in the room, which is actually the Dark Continent. Um, well, when I hear Dark Continent, you guys, I don't know if you rate Hunter x Hunter, but there's also a Dark Continent in Hunter x Hunter, and it's been dick teased like crazy because, well, Hunter x Hunter's on hiatus, X hiatus. Um, so unfortunately, we have to suffer through that. But anyway, that's the first thing I think of when I hear Dark Continent is, oh great, Togashi's still on hiatus. So maybe that guy, whoever writes Berserk, can get him on his ass and just give him fix his back for him or something. I don't know. Now I'm thinking of the shocking interview video for Togashi. It's too funny. I would suggest looking that up because that guy's laugh is just unbelievable. Just yeah, just put in shocking interview Togashi or Hunter x Hunter. It'll probably come up. Anyway, this is not Hunter x Hunter. This is Magi. Anyway, the other elephant in the room was the fact that for some reason Ali had been in some sort of limbo um, for what felt like 100 years in a place where there is a different notion of time itself. And that last part is in quotations from, I don't know what translation, um, that was posted on Manga Mint. But anyway, so essentially, you know, could it be that now he has grown to the point where he's has 100 years of experience almost? Because, he's in this weird cactuar bean thing. Um, but, you know, apparently before he was put into this object of strange weirdness, he was sort of in this limbo for 100 years. That's what we're assuming based on the information that we have just been received. We have just been received. What the fuck am I saying? That we have just received. Okay, the information that we just got. That's what we have to assume. Um, is that what he's saying is that he was somewhere for 100 years, but this 100 years lived outside of time itself, or perhaps it was in a different time lapse. For example, um, 1 second. It could have only been 1 second for 100 years, or even a minute for 100 years. Um, I can give some anime examples like Tsukuyomi from Naruto, um, things like that. If you read Fairy Tail, there's like the celestial world is runs on a lot quicker time. So like I think it was like one day was like a month in the original world. But it could be something like that where he was only gone for about a minute, but in that minute, in like the separate dimension almost, it was 100 years. Um, so what is that going to look like when he comes back? Well, we can only theorize at this point because we've only been given a very small tidbit of information. However, I will start to theorize because why not? I believe that he's going to be a lot stronger when he comes back. And I think that sort of speaks for itself, but at the same time, I think there will be a lot of naysayers as well. Granted, he was, for the most part, strong, like as strong as Hakuryu, maybe stronger. The only reason he lost is because of Belial's OP powers. But he needs to be stronger to be a true king vessel of Aladdin if he's gonna win out in the end. Especially if Sinbad's gonna be the final villain, man. Whew. The two of them are gonna have to be fucking powerful to beat that. But yeah, um, what I think he'll be a lot stronger, and I think obviously he's shown that he's going to be a lot wiser, or rather, he is a lot wiser. Um, but ultimately, when we thought this was a new planet, it was actually a continent, and this continent alone has been consumed by Black Rook or the Dark Rook, whatever. I think it's called Black Rook. In other words, this continent has pretty much fallen. Now, with this Great Rift, is it possible? I think this is completely separate from where the finalists live. Um, just yeah, because I think they're on that same continent, but like there was a different rift. Um, but yeah, because that's where Yunan lives in the rift. Because otherwise, Yunan they would be where Yunan is. But yeah, there's got to be something that's gonna give him his original body back because either his original body or a new body that looks identical or aged, whatever. Who knows? But apparently they're on a continent, which doesn't really make much sense considering the fact that wasn't Judar like pushed upwards into space? How the fuck did he land back down on the same planet? I don't know. I have no fucking idea. Um, but we still need a lot more information. There's not really much else to talk about here. I mean, the dragon, obviously. Um, the dragon from Almataran is here. Um, cool. Uh, yeah, but yeah, it seemed like he said like you to Judar, you have passed through the spaces between dimensions and reached this place. Like, what does that even mean? That's still very vague. But yeah. Anyway, um, that's it. What do you guys think about Alibaba's situation and what's gonna happen to him and what do you think? Yeah, what do you think it's gonna look like when he comes back to everybody else? Um, where this storyline sort of collides with the civil war that's going on in the Conan Plains and Balbad, etc. Um, will they be back before the war is over, or will they be back just after the war has ended? Find out next time on Magi.